Okay, so we are retrieving an array of modules, which presumably maps to several records in our database, and we are using a query that we implemented ourselves to find all modules, right? Which is using a native query. Now, JPQL, JPA strongly discourages you from doing this, right? Because again, this ties you again to the vendor, and it goes against the the Java mantra of one source code and you can use it anywhere, right? You want to abstract all your vendors, the infrastructure. So instead of doing this, what we're going to do is that we're going to comment that out, right? And instead, we're going to use the default is not to use value and not to use the native query, and instead use a high-level language. So high-level language looks very much like SQL, but not quite, right? So the entire idea of JPA is that it allows you to think in the object world, not in the table world, right? It allows you to keep thinking about these are classes, these are instances of objects, right? And forget about the fact that these are actual tables, right? Instead, it will handle that mapping for you. Right? So don't think about these things as tables and fields and tables and records. Instead, think of these as classes that have instances, and these instances have class variables. Yes, right? Object variables. Make sense? Right? So to think about this, then this over here, the table. I'm not talking about the table modules. I'm talking about the class module. Yes, the class module. And I'm thinking about instances, right, of modules, right? So I want to go fetch me all the module instances that are of type module, right, which happen to be mapped to a table called modules, right, which happen to have all those fields that whatnot. Yes. So this is a high level representation of the same select statement, right, which allow you to stay in the object world and forget about tables and records. Make sense, right? So if this works and we restart, hopefully this will work just the same. Okay, so if we rerun this, right, it works just the same. Now underneath, notice that the select statement is the same select statement that we would have written anyway, right? Right, the modules. Here's the modules table, right? And it writes it for you. Okay. Also, it gives you the input high level JPQL, and then it gives you what it translates to. See that? Right. It gives you the high level SQL JPQL, and says, well, this I converted it into that. Right. It has the ID, the description, the title from modules. Right. And so you can debug this, and maybe you agree with what they're doing, or not. Right.